Hey, y'all. Welcome to another video on my channel. Listen, we're about to jump right in. We're about to go a little bit deep because I know I've mentioned it before about me in this space that I'm in right now, but we're about to go deep today. And I pray that this video will encourage someone who may be dealing with something similar, or maybe dealing with their own struggles or their own situations that may seems like it's causing them pain and it feels like there's no way out, right? I just hope that this video will encourage someone else who may be just like me or may experience the same thing, may have experienced some of the same things that I've experienced. Listen, I quit my 9 to 5. And I know I've mentioned that before in some of my other videos, and I even did a video shortly after it happened. I quit my 9 to 5. I quit my 9 to 5. I quit my 9 to 5. I walked away from a career. I was in the career for about 18 years. I was in finance. Some of you may know I was in financial banking for the last 18 years of my life. I started my banking career with Bank of America in 2006. So I've been in banking for 18 years, right? Got started with banking. I got comfortable with banking, and I said, you know what? Let me make this a career. The last company that I was with that company for 9 years. I was with that company for 9 years. I was really trying to hold out and make it to my 10-year mark there. But I was with that company for 9 years. And of April of 2024, I walked away from that company. I walked away from a company that I knew I was no longer meant to be at. I knew my expiration date had expired. Here's the thing. I walked away from that company a few years prior to 2024. And when life started to get hard, I applied back and went back. And that was probably the biggest mistake that I made. That was probably the biggest mistake that I made. But in 2024, last year of April, I quit that company for the second time after being there for 9 years. After being there for 9 years. I knew it wasn't meant to be, but what followed felt like the breaking point. What followed felt like the breaking point. Eviction. That's what followed after leaving the 9 to 5. A few months after I left the 9 to 5, I was evicted from my apartment. Life was really happening for me. Life was really happening, and I'm not by myself because I have 2 kids. Eviction notices started to come. My car turned into our resting place. So what followed after me leaving the 9 to 5, me being evicted, me being homeless, me and my kids sleeping in our car for weeks at a time, I did what I previously was known to do. Once life started to get hard again for me, I said, I can't do this. I said, I can't put my kids through this. Went back and got another job, a 9 to 5. After quitting the company that I quit for 9 years, that I was with for 9 years. I said, I can't do this, Lord. I can't put my kids through this. I can't put my kids through this. So I went and got a job. I said, okay, we got evicted. I'm being real. I said, okay, well, we got evicted. Didn't start the new job until after the eviction, though. But I said, it's okay. Okay, we're going to thug this out. I'm going to do my best to try to thug this out. And I'm going to stack up a few checks. But that didn't work. Because as I started this now new job, right? Just left the company that I left for April of 2024, last year, April 2024, right? Some months went by. Okay, months went by. I'm exhausting all of my savings at that point. Months went by. Bam, eviction. Bam, I'm in my car sleeping, right? We sleeping in my car. Or whatever. When things started to get hard again, right? Because I saw it coming. So I said, okay, I need to go back to the 9 to 5. Started to apply before I got evicted. Started to apply, had some interviews, got a job offer. I took it, right? Accepted the job offer. And I'm trying to do everything I can. I'm trying to borrow this, that, and the other. I'm trying to do everything I can to keep my apartment. Trying to do everything I can to keep my apartment because I knew that I had this new job coming. I said if I could just keep my apartment, I'm trying to do everything I can, trying to borrow, whatever, but resources exhausted. And eviction came. So leaving the 9 to 5, right? Months went by. I start to see life is okay. I got to figure out something, right? So when life starts, and I noticed this about me, when things start to get hard, I go back to what's comfortable. Every single time. The first time I left the company that I was with, when life started to get hard, I just went quickly, applied back. I knew I can go back. So I applied back and was hired like that. When every single time when life gets too hard for me, I go right back to what's comfortable. But this time was different. Right? Because it seems like even in trying to go back to what was comfortable, it started to get more uncomfortable. Because even though I accepted a job offer before being evicted or whatnot, but the eviction came and there was nothing else I can do. There was no more money that I could borrow. I've exhausted all of those resources. I don't ask nobody for nothing. I said, forget it. We just gonna have to thug it out, and we just gonna have to be homeless for a minute, right? Because in the back of my head, I said I will be starting the new 9 to 5 soon, right? And I said, okay, I'll start that. We'll thug it out, and I'll stack up a few checks. Boom, I'll get us another apartment to live in. But 1 week on that new 9 to 5 job, 1 week, I didn't feel it wasn't safe. My kids were like, I had nowhere to leave my kids. My kids is in my car all day while I'm trying to hold on to this new job. I'm just trying to hold on to it for a few paychecks. It wasn't safe. I didn't feel at ease. I went in, walking into that new 9 to 5, just devastated about the state of where my life is right now, and knowing my kids is in the car, knowing that if they have to go to the bathroom, where are they gonna go? Because I'm embarrassed about my situation. I can't have them coming up in here, going to the bathroom. Like, what is going to happen? Like, what am I going to do? So for a good week, I tried to hold on to that job as long as possible. And after a week went by of the new 9 to 5, because I went back to what was comfortable, because that's just what I did. When life started to get in, I said, I just go back to what's comfortable or whatever. But I couldn't, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. I just was not at ease of leaving my kids like that all day in the hot car. Like, it just didn't feel. I said, you know what? If this is the situation, I need to be out here with my kids. So I quit the 9 to 5. I quit the new 9 to 5 that I held on for a week. And I said, okay, Lord, what now? What do I do now? Because the only source of income that I saw of getting me and my kids, I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. But for a few weeks, I said, man, I just thought, I could stack up a few checks or whatnot. But looking back now, I see how every sleepless night, and I see how every why God moment was stretching me. It was in my brokenness that God was building something new in me. He was building a stronger me. He was giving me a bolder faith for him. He was giving me a clearer vision of my purpose. Listen, I share that to say, I share my story, and I'm being very transparent in this moment. I share my story to say that, listen, sis, I know the pain can feel like it's too much. I know it can. I know the pain can feel like it's too much. But I am here to tell you that your struggle is not the end of your story. Your struggle is not the end of your story. Trust and believe. Everything that I've been through, from experiencing being evicted, from being homeless, sleeping in my car for weeks at a time, like having to go to the park bathrooms for me and my kids to be able to brush our teeth and wash our face. That wasn't easy. I was embarrassed. I was humiliated. It got to a point to where I was really isolating myself because I didn't want to tell people my situation or what I was dealing with. And even now, I don't even like now, because I thank God. I thank God that he has kept me. I thank God that he has kept me. I thank God that he has kept me. I thank God. I'm sorry, y'all. I just had to take a moment. I thank God that he has kept me. Because through everything that I've been through, I know that God was calling me to something bigger. I know that God was calling me to something bigger. And even I didn't even see it. I didn't even see it then. But God was calling me to something bigger. And he's doing the same for you. He's doing the same for you. He's calling you to something bigger. You are meant for this. Whatever your struggle is, you're meant for this. Whatever that challenge is, yeah, he's calling you to something greater. It wasn't until me going through what I've been through to where I have really, really poured myself into God. I had nobody else to look to. I had family members that turned their back on me. I'm going through the toughest moment of my life, and I've had family members that turned their back on me. And I'm not going to say family members, but I'll just say one particular family member or whatever, who we pretty much is all we had growing up, and has turned their back on me. But it was me going through this. I needed to go through, and it hasn't been easy. I needed to go through what I went through because I needed to draw closer to God. My prayer time with God, I've been more intentional about my time with God. I haven't been so in my word like I am now, Because if I wouldn't have gone through what I've gone through, please, I'll still be just kind of just doing church like I do church on Sundays, casually picking up my Bible every now and then when I was ready to pick it up. Like, I wouldn't be getting up praying in the morning. I wouldn't be intentional about coming to my car and spending that time with God, putting on my worship music and allowing God to speak to me. Because I wasn't doing that before. I wasn't doing that before all of this life-changing stuff has happened to me. I was very casual. Let me be honest and say I was very casual about my relationship with God. So God needed to pull me in a place to where that I need you to rely totally on me. I need you to rely totally on me. I'm going to get out of you what I need to get out of you one way or another. Man, sheesh. And that's when I started to realize that this is bigger than me. This is bigger than me. What God is calling me to, and I'm going to encourage you, what God is calling you to is bigger than you. It's bigger than you. Yep, you need to go through what you're going through because there's a door that you need to go through. There's a group of people that's waiting to hear from you. Every challenge, every struggle, every hard situation, everything that feels like that, you know what? I don't know how it's going to get better after this. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, listen, everything that you're dealing with, everything that looks to be bigger beyond you, man, there's a group of people waiting for you to hear your story. Man, listen, God was calling me to something bigger, and I see that now. God was calling me to something bigger. Hello, content creating, telling my story, empowering women, single women of God to keep trusting him, to keep looking to him. All my content that I do, it's just me empowering women, single moms, sharing my story of me growing up. Maybe I'll do my another video on experience abandonment from my parents. I have 2 living parents right now, my mom and my dad. I don't have no relationship with them. Never had a relationship with my mother or my father. My mother gave me and my sister up at the age of 3 years old, and I've never had a relationship with her. My dad, I never had a relationship with him. And to experience that abandonment and that rejection from 2 living parents that I have now, sheesh. This is why I created this, to share my stories. But thank God, because he has kept me. Thank God that he has kept me. Listen, because of everything that I've been through in my life, from a baby up to now, the odds was against me. I wasn't supposed to even, I was probably supposed to be somewhere out here strung out, maybe living a lifestyle that I had no business living, doing some things that I had no business doing, because that's where I come from. But thank God, God has kept me. And despite despite what I've been through, despite the abandonment, despite the rejection that I've experienced, despite the eviction, despite the divorce, that's another story within itself. Despite me raising these kids up by myself with no help, struggling day after day, despite all of that, God has saw fit for me to be right here making this video, encouraging women, encouraging single moms like myself to say that no matter what you're dealing with, no matter what you're going through, I'm going to need you to trust God's plan. Don't give up. This ain't the time to give up. This ain't the time to give up. This is not the time to give up. Listen, every moment of pain is a part of your preparation. Every moment of pain is a part of your preparation. So I don't care what it's looking like. I don't care what nobody else has to say. I'm going to need you to trust God in this. I'm going to need you to trust God in this. And if you need a reminder that God can turn it all around, I'm going to need you to come back to this video and listen to my story again. Because, baby, I don't have it all together. I don't have it all together even now. I don't have it all together, but I trust God. I know that there's a breakthrough knocking. I know that there's a breakthrough coming. I trust God with everything within me. Man, and I will encourage you to do the same thing because God got you. God got you, and your struggles are shaping you for your calling. Everything that I've been through is shaping me for my calling. I didn't see it then, but I see it more clear than ever now. Everything that I've been through is shaping me for my calling. I've always been the girl that said, no lie, I've always been the girl that said, you know what, I'm good working the 9 to 5. I've always said that. Always. I never had no desire to start a business. Never had a desire to start a business. I've always been the one to say, you know what, I'm good working the 9 to 5. You know, I get with the right company. I can move up within the company. I'm good working the 9 to 5. And maybe that's why maybe after 9 years of being with my previous company, I started to feel stagnant because I felt like that I only had one promotion within the 9 years of me being with that company. God already knew what the plan was. God knew that I had something greater for you. God knew that I had something greater for you. So I started the business in 2020. Okay, that didn't work. So I said, okay, God, I'm good doing the 9 to 5. I'm good doing the 9 to 5. But now I'm in a space to where I can't even get a call back for an interview. With all my years of experience, 18 years in financial banking, I just got another rejection email yesterday that said, sorry, we decided to move on with other candidates for a simple entry level position as a teller. With all my years of banking experience, with everything that all the work that I bring to the table, you decided to move on with another candidate. I can't even get an interview. Within these last 6 months, I have not been able to land a job. And I'm applying for positions that are beneath my experience. Let me be honest. I'm going back to square one because I'm just like, I need a job. But God is calling me to something bigger. And trust and believe, honey. I didn't get it. I see it so much clearer. I see it so much clearer. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what tomorrow looks like for me. I don't know what next months look like for me or whatnot. But I tell you, I trust God. I tell you, I trust God. I trust God. Man, I trust God. So even as I'm going through right now, even though as I'm still going through right now, right? Because I need a financial breakthrough to happen or whatnot. This year I said, God, this year can't be what my last 6 months have been, God. I told God that at the beginning, at December 31st. I said 2025 can't be what the last 6 months of my life have been, God. Lord, I need something to shake. I need a breakthrough. So in November of 2024, I started the sheet collection. I started my journal collection. You know, I love to write. Especially going through what I've been going through. I've just been in the space of just writing and pouring out and just sharing my feelings and really kind of praying, writing out my prayers, writing out my scriptures. Like, I just been so intentional about that. I said, you know what, let me go ahead and start this journal line. And right now I have 4 journals that are available on Amazon. To God be the glory. Beautiful journals. To God be the glory. And I'm waiting for God to move in that area. I'm waiting for those sales to start hitting off the shelves. I'm waiting. And I already spoke what I want my monthly goal to be. And I'm just believing God for it, for the sheet collection. I'm believing God for what my monthly sales goal will be. I'm believing God for my YouTube channel. I'm believing God that I will find my audience. Man, I say all of this to just really encourage you to trust God. To trust God with your pain, to trust God with your challenges, to trust God with your struggle. He sees it all. He sees what you're dealing with. Don't give up on God. Don't give up on God, because he won't give up on you. That song just came to mind right now. Don't give up on God, because he won't give up on you. He's able. Yee! Listen, I've been on here long enough. Listen, if this video encouraged you, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and never miss what we're throwing out. Never miss what we're throwing out. Y'all have an amazing day, and I'll see y'all in the next video.